right? Because you're giving them a platform that they can reach 400.
Yeah,
400,000
over that. Yep.
400,000 people. Like, that's a lot of fucking subscribers.
Yeah,
that you have on Instagram page.
Yeah, it's a good amount of followers.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you are now about to witness
the journey that is the Life Choices podcast.
yeah!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here on the Life Choices podcast. This week, I welcome John Dykert. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much.
Good.
Friends from a long time ago.
Yeah.
Met, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years ago. How long have you been married now?
So I've been married 3 years.
And then you guys were dating for?
Dated 2 years.
So that's 5 right there.
Yeah. Yeah, about 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that long.
Yeah, I know.
All.
It doesn't. Time flies.
Because I remember running into you guys when we were all running around Clematis Street and going to Roxy's. And those were in our a bit more not so sober days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. I was just thinking about that on the drive here. I was like, man, I don't think I've ever had an actual sit-down conversation with Bradley. I don't know what to expect here. You know, we've ran into each other at countless bars and, out and about. But I was like, all right, here we go.
We'll just see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Nora, our mutual friend, had suggested that I give you a holler to talk about something that you got going on. And then, of course, you're married to Bree. Mm-hmm. I want to say it's like Nora's like twin.
Yeah.
The two of them were running around on the same boat with me one day long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we all know each other.
Yeah, back in their glory days.
In the glory days. I talk about them quite often as more of like alcoholic days for me, but we'll say glory days.
Yeah,
Why not? I had a lot of fun back then.
For everybody, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you now? What is the Pure Florida that I've been hearing about? Yeah,
Pure Florida. So you texted me and you said the Pure Florida movement, and I never really have called it that. I was like, oh, I wonder how we got that. And then Nora said, yeah, that's what I called it. I was like, oh, okay. So I never really considered it like a movement or anything, but it started out as just like a really fun side hobby, really, and it grew into a pretty large feature account. And that's what it is at this point. There's a lot of other things I've done with it, and there's a lot of cool stuff to do, but I've got, I think, about 400,000 followers on it right now, and, typically post a few of my own photos here and there, but most of it's, other people's stuff, beautiful places to go in Florida, cool things to do, fun things to see, so that kind of stuff. Okay, so, and you started this how long ago? Started it, in like 2015. Oh, wow. Okay. So a while ago. Yeah. I had two other buddies who started a cinematography company, actually. And then they brought me on. I was kind of doing sales for them. They both got their drone pilot's license. And, we were in college and we're like, well, obviously we have to make a reel. If we're going to be, in the cinematography space, we got to show people what we can do. So we made the best out of it. We took like a 2-week road trip up the East Coast and spent actually the first week in Florida. We didn't have a timeline for it, so we ended up seeing so many cool things in Florida, really cool spots. We visited a bunch of springs, beach places, went to the Panhandle, and they were doing the drone stuff, and I was just kind of along for the ride. So, like, I was in the car a lot, I was on my phone a lot, I was taking tons of pictures, and I got a ton of really cool content of Florida, and so I started the page, Pure Florida, thinking, it could maybe become a feature account, or, other people like to see this kind of stuff too. And on that trip, so on the drive, I actually gained, I think, like 10,000 followers in 2 weeks. Oh, shit. And that was like back in the day where Instagram was, it was a good time to start an Instagram page. And I didn't have enough content of my own, so I started posting other people's stuff, and then started saying, like, tag Pure Florida and, at Pure Florida to get your stuff posted. And then that exponentially grew it, because then other people were hashtagging it and posting, like tagging the @ sign and everything. And when everybody else started doing that, then it started growing really quickly. And I was like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. I was in college, went a ton of different routes with it, but yeah, that's how it started. Did you monetize it? I have not done as much as I could, but yeah, I make a good amount off of it. And at this point, it's kind of set to the side. It's like 5-10 minutes a day. But I always tell myself I should just all in, go for it, because it's different. It's not like I'm an influencer. I feel like influencers have it's a different game where, you know, companies are seeking influence to market for them. Pure Florida is set up as a business, so companies aren't necessarily seeking a business to market for them. So I have to do most of the reach outs. Definitely different. Awesome for trade work. But I've monetized it just a bit.
So is it? It's like an all-inclusive thing for anything Florida. Is that what I'm getting? Pure Florida. So it's not just cool places to go see while you're on vacation, whether you're in Key West or Orlando, it doesn't matter, anywhere in Florida. But you're saying like other people that might be like business owners within it could tag their company if they're in West Palm Beach and say at Pure Florida, and then you go through all of this tagging and then have to decide which ones you actually put onto your page. Yeah,
exactly. So, maybe, a couple hundred different hashtag Pure Floridas I get a day, or a bunch of different DMs. And typically I'll like choose through those, look through like the pictures, and I'll find something that's stunning. Or now the whole game's changed with reels, but tons of reels posting, beautiful places. That's like kind of day to day. But 2-3 times a week I have kind of like a promotional page where I offer, businesses that want to advertise their Florida type business. Like we'll do stuff with like clear kayaking adventures or tours. We do stuff with like boat clubs that have locations all throughout Florida. We do stuff with hotels, all that kind of anything that fits the theme. Really, I'll market for them.
Right now, these companies that are coming at you, it's not as simple as just hit at or tag Pure Florida. They got to contact you. You got to reach back out to them and kind of figure out what the deal is going to be, right? Because you're giving them a platform that they can reach 400. 400,000 over there. Yep. 400,000 people. Like, that's a lot of fucking subscribers. That you have on Instagram page.
Yeah, it's a good amount of followers.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, that's amazing. So all of these companies or whoever that are going to reach out to you, it obviously has to be, I want to say profitable for both sides, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I love to like. There's so many photographers out there, and obviously, I've done all sorts of different stuff with photographers for paying for posts and things like that, but most of the time it's just organic. I find what I think is awesome. Nobody has to pay me, and I post it on the page, and that's how I get growth. But I do allow a few promotional posts a week or a month even sometimes. It has to I have to approve it. It has to fit the theme. I don't want to just like post anything like flip-flops on the page, for instance. So yeah, they reach out to me typically, or I'll reach out to them, and I'll set up some cool trade work, or they'll tell me what their budget is, what they're looking for. A lot of times if I've done it with other companies, they're really seeking content too. So one, they want a platform, but at the same time they want content, so it's allowed me to gain some skills. I got a camera, got an iPhone too. That's like the best thing ever now. It's such a good camera on it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like with all this equipment that I'm learning how to use everything, I knew nothing like 5 years ago about any of this whole realm of IT. And now like the knowledge is just, I have people reaching out to me, some of my good friends that are starting their own podcasts, and they're reaching out to me and they're like, oh, how do you get your sound to like be like that? Or what camera are you using? And like, when I started, I was hitting up my friends that were doing it already, and now I'm the guy that they're hitting up, and it's really cool. It's like I know enough now that I can help other people with what they're doing.
Yeah,
I have 2 people off the top of my head right now that after we finish filming today, I'm going to reach out to, and I'm going to tell them they got to contact DM you directly, because one of them is a gentleman that I'm friends with from years ago. He's been on the podcast. He's a chef.
Okay,
but he also does drone footage.
Okay,
and his handle is A Buzz Above.
Yeah. No, I've posted his stuff
Sam?
before too.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know him, but it's not that big of a network of people that post like epic shit of Florida.
Right.
So I'll find him and I see him and I'm like, oh, that's
the dude. That's
that
A Buzz Above. Yeah. No, he's like, so he's done like so much stuff for free for me. Like we go way back. We're both chefs, and we met like, he used to work at Kachina like back in like 2008 or 2010, somewhere in there. And we met and hit it off, and then we've just kept in contact, and now he's doing the drone thing, and he's really fucking good at it.
Yeah, he is.
Real estate companies are hiring him to do like even fly his drone through like inside of the house or whatever to get footage.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting world we're in right now, where all this stuff is like just normal.
Yeah, exactly.
So the gentleman that were working with you at the beginning when you were like in college in 2014 that did the drone, I don't know what you called it.
Cinematography.
Yeah, but you said they had like a drone flying license?
Yeah. So I'm sure Sam does too. Nowadays you kind of have to.
Okay.
You get your pilot's license for a drone and you can fly it around. But we went like all out on that business. This was like early days of drones. They weren't that cool yet. They weren't that, not everybody had one. And we got these giant octocopters. And we were in college and we took a pretty decent loan out for this business. And it ended up working out okay.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff we did at the beginning. We did we did some stuff with super yachts with like Dennison Yacht Sales.
Okay.
And did like the fly arounds and over like while they're on the water. Cause a lot of times people like to see that stuff at the boat and you don't want to take a helicopter out for that. So we've done that.
Yeah. I don't know if Nora and Bree were on the boat at that time, but we had back when we were on that boat.
Yeah.
We had a whole helicopter day where 2 helicopters flew above us while we were all on the jet skis spinning around, and then the helicopter landed on the top deck of the boat. Yeah, it was really, really fucking cool. It was cold as fuck out though in Newport, Rhode Island. But yeah, that's interesting shit. People love seeing yachts.
Yeah,
people just love seeing the whole aspect of it. Are those 2 gentlemen with you still with Pure Florida?
No, so I started Pure Florida on my own actually because of that trip. They were doing the editing, they were doing all the videography. My job with them, I was brought on literally for sales. So it was like I had interest in that, but I never did any photography classes or videography classes, and that was their majors in college. So it was really fun for me, and I got to learn it all, learn how to fly the drone. But they wanted me to like find jobs because they had no ability to do that. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. That'd be fun. Anyways, the first guy actually started his own page called Raw California.
Okay.
And because mine grew so fast, and then his it blew up pretty big too. I think he stopped doing it at like 50,000 followers. He just got too busy or something. But within a year, it had 50,000 or something. So,
we are currently in a time in life where anything social media, if done right, if you have the right niche or the right hook or the right interest, you can grow it to a point where you can literally just work from home.
Yeah, it's true.
400,000 followers, dude. That's definitely a huge jumping point for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you got going on as the day job that's taking care of the wife and the kids.
Yeah.
But you should definitely look into and you don't even have to do it all yourself. Right now I went from, you were at the launch party like 2.5 years ago. I had a whole production team with me doing that. And then I've had other assistants and whatnot. And now I kind of like scaled down and I got everything under my own arms basically right now, trying to save money, but try to build this.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking back at getting a VA, a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
So you can go on like Fiverr and whatnot, and you can find people that do certain tasks and what you want and pay them a certain amount per hour or per project, which wouldn't put so much on your shoulders if you have other things going on as well, because you have a wife and you have two kids, two kids boys. Now.
Yeah.
How old's the eldest?
He just turned 3 last Sunday. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he on any of the Pure Florida?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He gets posted on there. And we did, a couple weeks ago, we did this trade work with this, it's a luxury rental company. Okay. And we got to stay in one of their, beach houses. It's a beautiful, beautiful, ocean home with awesome pool, 7 bedrooms. It's got like the virtual golf thing in it. So it's a really cool house. And, my friends benefit off of this too, because they all get to come along. But the content they wanted was family oriented. And they're asking, hey, could you, get pictures of the kids, this stuff, we want to. And this is a friend of mine an acquaintance of mine, I guess I'd call him, because I started doing trade work with him probably 5 or 6 years ago, and he's been growing his business of these luxury rental houses on the other coast, and they, every time they want, some new content, or they're constantly reaching out to us to do trade work, which has been pretty fun. We get to see all their cool new houses, but yeah, they wanted all these kids pictures and family stuff, so we brought. what was it, 4 families.
I was gonna say, like, your whole gang is married and with kids, man.
Yeah. It was hectic. It was a wild trip. There were 7 kids under 3 years old there. 2 babies. It was so much fun, but wouldn't have been fun for everybody. It was fun for the parent crew.
It sounds fun if you're in that lifestyle. For me, exactly. I feel like I would have been like in a corner somewhere trying to figure out how to get out.
Yeah, you would have been like on the roof. We didn't let the kids go up there. That was like our safe spot.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. So like you get called by other people because they want you to create the content for their company.
Yeah. Most of it starts as promotional work. So like they want to get posted on the page. Mm-hmm. And then, if they find out that I actually can create content, it's such a better deal for them too. Because, it's one thing getting, 3-4 posts on a really large page and, marketing yourself out there. But it's another thing to have really good professional grade content that you can use throughout the year. And we give them full rights to use it for all their marketing platforms.
Okay, so you create the content and then they can do what they want with it on their pages and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you got a pretty smart business going on here with just one Instagram page. No TikTok or... We got to talk about it. It's what's happening right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, TikTok, I think it has a page. I just honestly, between the 2 kids, I've got a career. We've got 3 Airbnbs, and we run them all. So it's like, there's so many things I should do with Pure Florida that's in the back of my head. It's like just added to this like long list of like should do this.
Right. Yeah.
And I've tried a lot too. I mean, we've done drop shipping with Pure Florida, like e-commerce, finding really like trending items, and then we post them. We made our own website, and then we drop shipped them out, and that did okay. I did a clothing brand at one point. I had a program where like businesses and photographers could sign up for an annual subscription, and they could pay me like an annual fee, and I promised them like 10 or 12 posts a year and a certain amount of stories a year. And that worked for like 3 years pretty well, and I grew quite a bit of subscribers. But what ended up happening with that is it just became less organic. It was like, I had so many people, I had to post all their stuff that like the page just stopped growing. So I stopped doing that. And then now at this point, yeah, you're right. There's more that needs to be done with it, but
there's more that can be done with it. Yeah. And I mean, since you brought it up, let's talk a bit about it. I mean, you have a lot on your plate. Like you said, you have a wife, you have kids, you have a full-time career, you have 3 Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Not the first time one of my guests has mentioned all of these side hustles constantly going on, which is phenomenal for you. I mean, the lifestyle that you're living is very comfortable, but it's a lot of hard work, obviously, because you have all of these different streams going on.
Yeah.
How do you balance it all? Like, how do you find out which one is like the priority, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, you take on just a little bit more at a time, and then what you do is you kind of just expand as a person. You just realize, oh, I can do more. I still do have plenty of time. Like you think about it, like if I would have thought about that 3 years ago and thinking about running, like doing all that, it would have felt like quite a bit. But I think about it now and I'm like, I'm not that busy. Like I look at other people and I'm like, they're busy. And I have a good job, I work from home. I get, I make my own hours. So, that is really nice, and that helps with, the kids thing is, it's pretty much a perfect situation for us. So,
and so it sounds more like all you need is you need a big ass whiteboard in your house somewhere, and just like draw diagrams as to like where your hours are actually allotted to do which task and what business and what Airbnb and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's just like you have like, from what you're talking about with the Pure Florida, I mean, Airbnbs, I get it. That shit's busy. My boy Brian had one for, I want to say like at least a year or so. He just sold that house, and now he's building another house. And I know how often you get called to like fix something or go there and check on something, and guests leave, you got to clean it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's always something.
Always something with everything with life. But I'm really keen on this Pure Florida thing because, again, I'm going to repeat it, over 400,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's hectic, dude.
Yeah.
That's like you're sitting on a gold mine right now. and I get it because it's like it's time consuming. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I think there's something there then. If you got 400,000 people that are just hollering at you, you know, wanting to be posted on your page, it's a gold mine just waiting to blow up. You got oil in the ground.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, I do like where it's at, and I enjoy doing it. You know, it's become more of like a habit for me. You know, this amount of time I've been doing, you know, trying to spend like a certain amount of time, 5 to 20 minutes, something like that a day. And at this point, you know, it's a habit. So I just continue to do what I'm doing with it. And I have a lot of, you know, I wouldn't say gigs, but I have some business coming in with it. And, you know, cool trade work. We have like a boat club membership through it, and we could, you know, stay all these fun places throughout Florida. The money piece is okay. You know, I think that's where my focus, you know, needs to be. I always keep saying, you know, like when I have more time or when I can put more time into it, that's like, you know, how do I make it consistently profitable?
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, that is just a matter of research to figure out how you do make it more monetized on a regular basis. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, like, think about how much work you've been putting into it, which you're saying is X amount, you know, and it's at that level already.
Yeah.
So I'm just the biggest advocate for this, because if you put in that extra time, like, just imagine where that would go.
Yeah.
Like right now you're saying you're getting to go to, like, you know, people's luxury homes for free because they want to, like, get you to do content for your page.
Yeah.
Your boat club. I mean, that in itself, like, for most people that don't know what a boat club is, you know, you got to pay like an initiation fee. You got to pay something like, well, like $4,000 or something like that for the year. And then you've got, you know, you get like a boat, you get to request a boat a certain amount of days a week and a certain amount of weekends a month.
Yeah.
And you have that through Pure Florida.
Yeah, like, exactly. Unlimited use of boats and jet skis, which is cool, and it's just so much fun to have little things like that. Where, you know, even if I, you know, consider spending more time on it down the road, or finding a goal for it down the road, right now where we're at and the way our life is and the way we have it set up, it honestly, it's kind of perfect.
It's just great the way it is right now. It's got a little bit of income coming into the household. Not too much worry about it having, like, it's there. Yeah. It's functioning.
Yeah, exactly.
And the little bit of attention that you're giving it on a daily basis is kind of just keeping it going, and you're getting some pretty cool presence, I guess you could say, from it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Awesome.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. So then let's talk about, fuck, man, you got so much on your plate right now, dude. Like 2 kids, wife, home. Yeah. I've seen the photos of the home.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a pretty sweet place. It seems like, so, like, the whole group of you, because you guys like have been like together.
Yeah.
I mean, the girls have been together since like university, and then all of the significant others, if they didn't go to university together, then you guys all kind of
brought everybody else in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good community. It is. We have a good community here.
I want to say like at least like 15, 20 people.
Oh yeah. More than that.
Yeah.
If it's all together. And then it makes it tough too, you know. There's so many close friends. It's like, can we invite everybody? It always makes it tough when you want to have a few people over.
Well,
you don't want to hurt anybody else's feelings. Exactly. Yeah.
And you guys got the pool, so you guys have the pool parties.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, we just moved.
Oh, did you?
So we kept that place.
Okay. And as an Airbnb.
Yeah. So that's one of the rentals that we have, and it's a great Airbnb property. It's right near downtown. It's just perfect. So, you know, it was worth it for us to get out of there. And we actually moved really close by here.
You must have, because we were talking like you were like, yeah, I'm just putting the kids down, then I'll come over. And I'm like thinking, okay, maybe he'll be like 20 minutes or whatever. And like next thing I know,
right in Lake Clark Shores.
Oh, you're just right over there.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, okay. Our buddy John lives over there too.
Nice.
I wonder, so when you go down Forest Hill from here, would you make a right or a left when you get to your neighborhood?
Left.
A left. Okay, so he's on the right side.
Okay, yeah.
And then his neighbor is another buddy of ours that works at Cheney Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they have a community over there. We have a community over here. You have a community over there.
Yeah.
Like, it's great, right? When you have that group of people that you can just hang out with all the time.
Yeah.
So you've been a dad. I want to talk about this. You've been a dad for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? And you have the second one is how old?
He's 7 months old.
7 months, both boys.
Yeah, 2 boys.
So I had to laugh because I'm sure she probably wanted a daughter.
Oh, she was happy with 2 boys.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we actually both wanted the first to be a boy, and he was a boy. And then the second, we're like, 2 boys would be fun, or boy, you know.
Yeah.
So the second one, we were like, didn't care, didn't know, and then it was a boy. And it's been I think it'll be really fun. They already have a little bond.
Oh, that's awesome.
Our 7-month-old loves our 3-year-old more than he loves us. Like he sees us, sees Brooks, our 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Big smile on his face. It's pretty cute.
Yeah. Man, I feel like most of us, at least most of us men, were always like, yeah, let's have a boy first, because then we have less worries to do when we're not out there with them. Typical thought is like, hey, boys can take care of themselves, and then if you have a sister, then he's going to be out there to watch the sister.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, like becoming a dad?
What was it like becoming a dad?
It's a big shift, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I felt like I was kind of ready for it. I mean, you can't ever be ready for it, but I was ready to kind of get out of like just living for myself. And just we were in a party stage for a long time, drinking a lot, and when we got married, that kind of settled a bit. But we were excited. I have older siblings that have kids, and some of our close friends had kids before us. So we were, excited to get to that stage of life. Not that we had planned it. So it happened before we were planning to have a kid. So then that was like, okay, here we are. Life's changing. Felt like, there's definitely a lot of stress that comes with it, as a young male. And, thinking, okay, I'm a provider now. I'm a father now. I have to get everything all together. There's definitely a ton of stress that comes with it. I think you need close friends, you need community. You're blessed if you have parents around that can talk to you about that kind of stuff. So I was really blessed to have people there and, to have the, ability to ask those questions and seek some advice. So, not the craziest transition in the world, but definitely was a transition.
Yeah, no doubt. I've not made the transition yet that I know about. I always make that joke. I have no kids that I'm aware about right now. No one has called me and said, hey, Brad, by the way, and I feel like by now they would have, because they know what I do for a living. So, support would be there, no problem.
Right.
Just my life has just been like, I don't know, like Peter Pan, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm 45 and I'm still living. Now, I'm not out partying. Everyone out there in the Life Choices podcast world knows that I don't party that often. I go out with my boys like once every like 2-3 months. I'm also away a lot. Like the job I have now on the boats, I'm still coming and going a lot. And my life just hasn't gone that route. But I find it so very interesting and educational when I sit in this chair and talk with my guests. Most of the male guests, that have kids, tell me how like it was just like one day you're not a dad, and then all of a sudden, like, boom.
Yeah.
Now today's the day, and now it's like fucking reality, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
So what's like one of like let's start off with like the scariest story you might have once you became a dad.
Oh man, there's been plenty of scary moments, that's for sure. Nothing's popping out of the brain first, but I know there's so many.
What was like the best moment so far with the first one?
I think just the fact that he's so sweet. He's such a sweet little boy is like so heartwarming for me. Come back to the first question. I think like the scariest moment was this lack of connection at the beginning.
Wow.
Where my wife, she already knew this baby. It was in her tummy. Like she'd know him. She was connected to him right away. And I just didn't, obviously I loved this baby, but I think as guys, we don't really actually feel that connection for like 6-8 months. Some guys are quicker. That connection grew so quick. So, it was really amazing to feel that, to see that, but just to like not be, you have these expectations of where you're going to be and not to be there right away. That was pretty scary.
Okay. That's interesting. That's actually a new comment that I've not heard yet, and I like that. Honestly,
what are the other?
Just typical things like when the kid's falling or something like that. But that's like probably one of the most honest, genuine answers. It's like I would never have thought of that. Like, how quickly do you connect with your child?
Yeah,
and it makes total sense. The woman carries the child for 9 months, so there's like no doubt like that connection's already built before the child's born. But then you're almost like an outsider. Until that child kind of like gravitates towards you in some shape, way, or form.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, I'm sure like a warm blanket over you one night, maybe you just laying there. Because I have to imagine you're the kind of guy that like fell asleep on the couch with like.
I mean, we had those moments all right away, and it was amazing. Honestly, it was so amazing. But you definitely don't feel that same connection your wife does. Takes a minute.
A little bit longer, eh?
Yeah.
But then that's why you'll take him out on a fishing trip when he's older, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Things to look forward to when you have boys. Are you guys going to try to have a third? Like, try to have that daughter?
No, I think we're done.
Okay, all right. Focus on making more money so that they can have a good life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where the real stress comes in, right? Because once you have kids, now you got to think about university and everything.
We've got a decent plan in place and not too stressed about it at this point, but, you know, it's always a thought, so.
And you guys are still fairly young, right? Like, you guys are, what, early 30s?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That boggles my mind because, like, I know, like, I'm always going to look at, like, Nora and Bree as, like, early 20s. Time fucking flies. Look at us all now. Well, some of us are more grown up than others. You got wife, kids, and plenty of responsibilities.
I love my job that I have right now, so that's nice. It's, you know, like, be liking what I'm doing, not hating my life 9 to 5. So that's cool.
We're going to get into that topic then, because it's like so fucking important. A lot of people out there, unfortunately, are working in jobs and do not like it. Their life is, for a better part, I guess, mundane, or it's actually more aggravating on a regular basis because most likely they probably have to fight through traffic early morning and late at night, you know, to and from work. They get to a job for, I don't even know what a normal job hours are, like 8 to 5, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So it's at least 8 hours.
Depends where you are. Probably like 8 to 6. Like New York City or like 7 to 7.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So that I could never do an office job like in a cubicle. I always said that, like, growing up, and I didn't. Thankfully, I never had to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very, very fortunate. I go to a job that I get to cook every day, so I love that.
Yeah, it's so cool.
After those hours are done, I get to come home and I get to do this job, which I fucking love so much. Like, this is like a dream come true for me as this is growing. But yeah, to be able to just have your job that you love, and you're doing it from home, right?
Yeah.
And basically all your jobs, because you have multiple jobs. You have multiple Airbnbs. You have, I'm going to say it again, pure Florida. You have so many things going on, and from the comfort of your own home. So you actually don't have to do a whole lot of traveling to get to work. Yeah. I'm assuming you get to spend, because the kids are kind of young, you're spending quite a lot of time with them, around them while working.
Exactly. Yeah, and you only get that once when they're young kids. So that was really important to me. And you know, 2 years ago, I didn't have this job. And I think that's, you know, part of the reason I'm a bit more grateful for it. You know, not everyone would love that. I'm in software sales, tech sales, and I work for a large company. But, you know, work from home, you know, make my own hours, and they treat me well. So, you know, for me, it's exactly what I want, because I love it, because I can, you know, help my wife with things at home. I can spend more time with the kids. I can work on other things that I need to be doing. And it's something that, you know, I've always wanted to be, you know, in sales, and something I wanted to do as a career. So that worked out.
Unfortunately, like we're saying, there's a large population of people out there that do have to go and work shift work and 2 jobs and 3 jobs because whatever life is for them. Again, I don't have kids, but I was a kid once, and I know how excited I was when my dad got home.
Yeah.
My mom, you know, my mom was a teacher, so she was always home like the same time as I was in the evening. But, you know, my dad busted his ass 7 days a week, but like when I mean, he made effort. So I get the idea. Yeah. Like, if you have to go to a job and you're just like being kept away from that one newborn child, like, it's got to put a fucking dent in your thoughts every day.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, now it's just hard because, you know, your kid's like, don't leave. And you're like, I gotta go.
It's interesting to hear from a wide variety of males about what they prefer to do, which is be with the kids, which is be at home, which, you know, leads me to believe that they most likely had a good family upbringing. Yeah. You know, because like I know that it could change if you don't have a father figure, or if like mom's not there, you know, maybe you might not be as wanting or willing to be there, I guess. Yeah. But everyone that I've met and had these conversations that have kids, they're all just like, yeah, I'd rather just quit my job and be at home all day with my kid. I want to say thank you, but I want you to really, I think we're going to be in contact a bit more often now that I know about this Pure Florida thing, because that is just such a cool thing. Yeah, man. And the fact that you have built it over the time that you have, doing X amount of work at it. And again, I'm going to say it again, 400,000 followers. That's to me, that's mind blowing. I'm trying to create a community like that. Yeah. And to know some of that, like to actually know an individual, not see people on social media, but sit next to someone who has 400,000 followers on their page. That's fucking phenomenal. Like kudos to you.
Man.
Like that's like, it's not as easy as people think it is. So like amazing that you've been able to do that. And I have a handful of people that I know I'm absolutely going to hit up right now and tell them they got to DM you and maybe collaborate with you on that, because they have good things going on where they have like maybe 20,000 followers, but I think, you know, just helping each other out and getting each other's pages up to a bigger following is very, very important, especially since we're all trying to do something from home.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. So thank you very much for coming by today. I appreciate you coming by and chatting with us about Pure Florida and a little bit about fatherhood and parenthood. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
I'm using all of this information for everyone that comes in here for like, if I ever am lucky enough to have a kid, I'm just going to go back and watch all my old videos and be like, hey, he said this, he said this. All right, see, I don't need a book on how to. I got all the videos on how to do it successfully. It's awesome.
Take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's
take
what
your truths from like, you know, because everybody's different and everybody's got the, you know.
Yeah. No one's got the exact how-to version, but everyone has a good idea of what works for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, if anyone out there in the Life Choices podcast world, all my lifers out there that come by every Tuesday at 2 to watch us here on the Life Choices podcast, if you're interested to find out more about Pure Florida, everything's just down below in the description. Could we do you have a link for the Airbnbs?
Yeah, we've got links.
Oh, perfect. So we're going to have links for the Airbnbs if you ever want to come to West Palm Beach, South Florida area and have an Airbnb. John here is your guy to talk to. What else? We got the Airbnbs. We got the Pure Florida. We got anything else we need to put down below in the description?
That's it.
That's it. All right, perfect. So all that's down below here if you want to get in contact with John for any of that stuff. For all of our new joiners here, if you want to be a guest on the Life Choices podcast, you can shoot us an email. Don't forget to scroll on down, hit subscribe, like, comment, share, all the fun stuff that we would like you to do to help us build our community here. For all my lifers out there, love you for coming back every week. We'll see you next week here on the Life Choices podcast, Tuesday at 2. Much love, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you are now about
the Journey Life Choices podcast.